All right, so the greatest fighter walking the face of earth, the pound-for-pound #1 mixed martial artist goes by the name of Islam Makhachev, the 155-pound, the lightweight champion in the UFC, the most stacked division in all of combat sports, okay? The lightweight division is where it's at in the UFC. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people want a shot at the belt. Dustin Poirier is the next man up. But Islam Makhachev, according to him, he says that he has no work to do. There is nothing that excites him, and there's nothing for him to do there. He's done it. He's been there, done it, got the t-shirt, he's beaten everybody, and he only wants to move up to challenge Leon Rocky Edwards to become the welterweight champion. Those are not my words. They are the words of the one and only Islam Makhachev himself. However, he does say he's going to beat Dustin. So let's have a little look at what he had to say.
Honestly, I don't have any excited fight because Dustin have just one fight win streak and we have Arman. I already beat these guys. I don't have some job in my division, my opinion, honestly. And I think I have chance. They have to give me chance for the second belt because I already beat the old guy.
All right, so there it is, right? He said he has no job left at lightweight and they got to give him a shot at the second belt. I understand why he wants a shot at the second belt. #1, you become a two-weight division champion. You go down in the history books. Being a champion is good enough. Being a two-weight division champion, that's something really special and a very, very small elite club to be a part of. And of course, he afforded that luxury to Alexander Volkanovski, not once, but twice. Okay, so in the mind of Islam Makhachev, he's probably thinking, well, I'm giving that opportunity to other people. Why don't I get the same opportunity? Of course, he was offered it apparently for UFC 300 against Leon, but because of Ramadan, he couldn't train and therefore didn't want to compete, which I totally understand, and you got to respect that. But going back to the original thing, right? No competition. What is he talking about? I'm a massive fan of Islam Makhachev, okay? But we got to discuss this because if you look at the UFC rankings, as I said before, top to bottom, all 15, there's some very, very juicy, dangerous fights there. Yes, of course, he's the pound-for-pound #1 on the planet, and rightly so. I have no disagreements with that. Islam Makhachev is a force of nature. He's the champion, and #1 contender right now is Arman Tsarukyan. In the mind of Islam, from what he's saying, he's already beaten Arman Tsarukyan, okay? But that was Arman Tsarukyan on just a few weeks' notice. And Arman actually gave him a very good fight, gave him a good competitive match, okay? It wasn't easy. Islam had to work for it, and that has driven Arman Tsarukyan crazy. Ever since he got that loss, he's had nothing on his mind apart from Islam Makhachev.
It was 5 years ago, my fight short notice with Islam Makhachev. I gave him toughest fight, and I believe myself next fight I'm going to win him. Just gave me that opportunity, and that's it.
And I think Islam, to be fair, has got to give it to Arman because he's earned that opportunity. But that is, of course, if he gets through Dustin Poirier. Right? That's not written in the stars, right? Yes, Khabib Nurmagomedov made relatively easy work of Dustin Poirier. And I say that with respect to the diamond, but it's just the facts. One would think that Islam has a similar path to victory. He probably does, okay? But Dustin Poirier is not a man to underestimate, okay? As long as he's not jumping to the gillies every 2 seconds.
And you miss all the ones you don't jump.
Dustin Poirier, right? I'm telling you, he's got the ability to beat him, so that's not a given. But outside of that, who else is there? When you look at the rankings, there's a lot of people. Yes, Justin Gaethje just lost to Max Holloway. We know that, okay? And with that, up in flames when he's shot of fighting for the belt. Anytime soon, that is. Let's be honest, Justin Gaethje is still ranked #3. All he's got to do is get one more big, solid victory, and he is back in those discussions. And as fans, I want to see Islam against Justin Gaethje. Of course, you do watching this right now. Don't tell me that you don't. After that, #4, Dustin Poirier, that's matched up. We've got Mateusz Gamrot. Mateusz Gamrot would be an interesting match because he's got very high-paced technical wrestling. After that, it's Beneil Dariush. Dariush, even though he's ranked #6, he just lost to Arman and he just lost to Charles Oliveira. So as much as I respect Beneil Dariush, he's not there right now. But then in at #7, Michael Chandler. Why is that relevant? Well, we know UFC 303 just around the corner, International Fight Week. He's taking on Conor McGregor, okay, at 170 pounds in a 5-round main event. And apparently, according to Chandler, Conor didn't want 5 rounds. He only wanted 3 rounds. And Chandler says that speaks about his preparation. That speaks about how ready for this fight he's going to be. Listen, Mike, chill your boots. The fight isn't until June 29th. There's a lot of time for Conor to get in shape yet. But the reality is, I'm telling you, whoever wins that fight could potentially get a title fight because McGregor's the biggest star the sport has ever seen or ever will. If he gets back to winning ways on a pay-per-view, breaks the attendance record, pay-per-view sales are through the roof and business is booming once again, don't tell me they're not going to give him a title fight against Islam Makhachev. Number one, the most ever watched pay-per-view of all time in the UFC is Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. And that will be the closest thing to a rematch that they could ever do. Secondly, if Michael Chandler wins, well, Michael Chandler's popularity will skyrocket as well. Of course, he filmed The Ultimate Fighter. He's been showing up at the WWE events. The man's great on a microphone. He looks good. He's a class act. He's a hell of a fighter. He's always exciting, win or lose. And if he gets the job done against McGregor, then he is right there in line as well. So already, I mean, we don't need to go through the top 10. Right, but if we do, we've got Max Holloway, we've got Rafael Fiziev, we've got Renato Money Moicano, and then Dan Hooker, Jalen Turner, Benoit Saint-Denis. Okay, so there's a lot of fights there for him. But I sympathize with the situation because he wants a shot at becoming a two-weight division champion, as I said before, just like he offered Volkanovski. But be careful what you wish for because Leon Edwards, right? Leon Rocky Edwards is an absolute sniper in there. And look at what he just did to Colby Covington. Now, apparently Colby Covington says that he broke his foot in the first round.
The result wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't my night, but, I broke my foot right away and couldn't plant or explode off it.
And he also said that the judges, well, they were Democrats. And because of his love for Donald Trump, that's why they didn't give him the decision. The reality was it wasn't a close fight. And apparently I'm hearing rumors, saw it online on Instagram anyway, Colby Covington will be back in action very soon, taking on Ian Garrett. Apparently, contracts are signed. That was an Instagram post that I saw, so I don't know if there's any validity to that or not. But Leon beat Colby soundly. Yes, Colby finished with a good round, but that was about all he did. Leon Edwards is not a wrestler, but he is a black belt in defending takedowns and stopping takedowns against the fence, okay? That first round against Kamaru Usman in the second one when he knocked him out, headshot dead, right? Remember, nice little foot trip. Got the mount, took the back, got the body triangle, was looking for the rear naked chokes. Yes, okay, he got dominated for rounds 2, 3, and 4, but it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. And it finished with Leon wrapping his shin around the face of Kamaru Usman and becoming the champion, defended again against Kamaru and defending, of course, last time against Colby. Of course, he wants to do that. He wants a chance to be great, okay? And Islam, he's probably just getting headlines because he knows damn well there's a lot of opposition out there. There's Charles Oliveira. Remember, Charles Oliveira, I didn't even mention him, the most exciting fighter. He just lost to Arman Tsarukyan, but he was booked to rematch Islam Makhachev before he split open his eyebrow. So, for him to say there's no work to do at 155 pounds is incorrect. But I think he knows that. And he knows Arman Tsarukyan is right there. And he knows he's going to fight Benoit Saint-Denis. So, regardless, that would be 2 more defenses. And to be honest, if Islam Makhachev does that, if he achieves that, if he defends against Poirier and he defends against Arman Tsarukyan, I'll tell you what, after 2 defenses against Alexander Volkanovski, giving him a shot at 2 belts, that would be 4 title defenses for Islam Makhachev, and I would have absolutely no issue whatsoever with him moving up to 170 pounds. And the reason being is because that would be 4 defenses. I think ultimately you've got to defend the belt at least 3 times. If he's done 4, great. I think at least it's got to be 3 defenses. And if not, you've got to go through the entire division. But anyway, what do you think about Islam Makhachev? I'm very excited for the fight against Dustin Poirier. Can Dustin keep the fight on the feet? Can Dustin finally realize his goal, his lifelong ambition of becoming lightweight champion of the world? I'm telling you what, Dustin Poirier will make it very, very exciting. But what do you think about these comments? Is he correct? Is he wrong? Am I talking out of my ass? Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe and ring the bell, and I will see you tomorrow.